Hello, welcome to the Warframe Collective. Today, we are going to be taking two of my favorite snipers and we are going to be putting them up against each other. Today, we have the Komorex as well as the Perigale. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to sniper rifles in Warframe, the Volkor Wraith is the Volkor Wraith, the Snipertron Vandal is too weak, and the Vectis is not good enough. But you do have snipers like the Lanka and the Rubico, as well as the Perigale and the Komorex. So when it comes to sniper rifles in general, the Perigale and the Komorex are somewhat new to Warframe, as they aren't part of our trademark snipers that have been around since back in the day. But thankfully, these two snipers can hang with the big boys, and we're gonna demonstrate a little bit of that. When it comes to looks, aesthetically speaking, the Perigale actually looks really nice, but this weapon has a gimmick that I'm sure is gonna turn a lot of people off. This weapon does have two zoom modes. It has 2 and it has 4 times zoom, but as far as the way this weapon fires in a 3-round burst pattern, and I know some people aren't gonna like that. And you can chew through your ammo really quickly by using the sniper, but if you lean into the sniper's gimmick, that will mitigate a lot of the sniper's ammo consumption. But before we discuss the sniper's intrinsic perks, we're gonna look at the base stats. And as you can see, this is a burst fire weapon with the weapon fall off being between 300 and 600 meters. It has a 28% crit chance with a 2.6 times crit multiplier and a total base damage of 262. So when we compare this to the Komorex, you can see the Komorex does have a slightly higher fire rate, and it does come with 20 shots in the magazine as opposed to the Perigale's 12. And those 12 shots are fired in bursts, so you really only actually have 3 shots. As far as crit chance goes, the Komorex only has a 16% crit chance with a 2.1 times crit multiplier, but it does have a 35% status chance to the Perigale's 16%, and it has a total base damage of 147. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna test this thing out with no mods, and as you can see, the Perigale's unique trait states, landing a headshot kill or 4 headshots in 1 burst grants plus 100% ammo efficiency for 4 seconds and plus 24 ammo maximum when wielded by Varuna. Ideally, when using the Perigale, you want to be hitting headshots. That way you can mitigate the ammo consumption, because if you're not hitting headshots, you're going to chew through your ammo really quick. So as you can see, we have 24 rounds right here. But because I'm hitting my headshots, the Perigale's unique perk is kicking in. And on top of that, I meant to do the unmodded test against level 80 enemies, but the Perigale is actually doing tremendously with no mods against level 165 enemies. So that's definitely a plus. I didn't even realize that until I looked back at the footage. So we know what the weapon performs like with no mods on it. So we're gonna go ahead and put a build on the Perigale, and it's gonna be your basic corrosive build. Once again, guys, build whatever way you would like to. And we're also gonna run primary deadhead because this weapon is so accurate. So one thing you can do with this build is you can take critical delay and swap that out for point strike, and that's gonna bring our crit chance down to 70%. But in swapping out critical delay, we no longer need vigilante fervor. So now you can take vigilante fervor and swap that out with hammer shot. By doing that, that's gonna bring our status chance up to 48%, and that's gonna bring our critical multiplier up to 7.3 times in addition to vital sense. So because the Perigale is a 3-round burst weapon and it has that little bit of punch through on top of that, this weapon has no problem clearing out hallways of enemies as long as you're hitting your headshot, that way your ammo efficiency perk is kicking in, because there were times where I wasn't hitting my headshots and I actually did run out of ammo. But the good thing about the Perigale is you can recover your ammo really quickly with this weapon. And as you can see, the Perigale is actually a fucking beast. So this is the level 165 test now. And as you can see, these enemies don't fare much better than the level 80 test, but we're gonna have to test this thing out in live combat just to see how it performs. Spoiler, it performs almost the exact same as long as you're hitting your headshots. But when it comes to which sniper you prefer, it all comes down to how accurate you are with your shots. So one thing I forgot to mention is I am running Deadeye. That does give you additional sniper rifle damage, but don't complain, because obviously in actual gameplay, you're gonna have buffs on buffs on buff. Next, we're gonna take a look at the Komorex. And as you can see, the Komorex is not as aesthetically pleasing as the Perigale, but it's still all right. And it does have 2 zooms. It has 2 times zoom and it has 3.5 times zoom. Now, you really want to be using this weapon at 3.5 times zoom because that's where its unique trait kicks in. So the first thing we're going to do with the Komorex is we're going to test this thing out unmodded. But if we look at the unique trait states max zoom has a minus 75% fire rate, but it causes a 3.5 millimeter viral explosion and it converts secondary ammo pickups into sniper ammo. Basically, what that means is you always want to be using this sniper at 3.5 times zoom. As you can see, this is what 2 times zoom looks like unmodded on this weapon. Nothing impressive, and this is our level 80 test. But when you increase that zoom level to 3.5 times, you can see that you get that viral AoE explosion, and it does dramatically decrease the fire rate. And because it decreased the fire rate so much, you kind of have to run a fire rate mod on this. You kind of really need to run vial acceleration to get the most optimal damage out of this sniper. So this is the build I'm going with. It's your basic corrosive build. Once again, guys, build whatever way you want. This is just the build I like. And you don't have to run amalgam serration. That is totally preferential on my part. I am running primary deadhead because the weapon is so accurate, and I am running vial acceleration because of the weapon's intrinsic perk that decreases the fire rate. So first up, we're gonna be doing the level 80 test. And just so you guys can see what the damage looks like without the unique trait, as you can see, it doesn't look bad. It killed both of those enemies behind them in only a few shots. But when you zoom in, you can really fuck these guys up, especially with that AoE explosion. That AoE explosion makes this weapon especially deadly. And to be perfectly honest, it doesn't have the same one-shot potential that the Perigale has. But the thing about the Komorex is it is highly spammable. The Komorex is a highly spammable weapon, and because it has that AoE viral explosion, it's very great to use against groups of enemies. Now we're gonna go ahead and bump the level up to 165. And as you can see, this weapon is still a monster at level 165. And I know you guys are probably wondering, how does it perform in live combat? Because oftentimes you see a weapon in the simulacrum and it performs well in the simulacrum because you're using the weapon under the most ideal circumstances. But when you get the weapon in the live combat and motherfuckers are shooting at you, oftentimes it's a different story. So you're probably wondering, how do these weapons perform in in-game? Well, I'm here to tell you that both of these weapons perform almost exactly the same in in-game content as they do in the simulacrum. So in my last video, somebody asked if I could just shut the hell up once I get to the live combat portion of the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and just let the video play, and I'll chime in at the end, and go ahead and sound off in the comments if you guys like this format better.
We cannot let our target know we're here. Track them down quickly. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. You found a target. Capture them quickly before they escape. Excellent work. We'll interrogate the captive back at base. Your part is done here, Tenno.
Get comfy, dreamers. One of our own believes they are the equal of our foe, and baby, they are acting like it.
Heads up. A Grineer assault team is headed your way.
Combat must be practiced to truly master the canvas of war.
Capture target has vital information that we will need to extract. We need our subject brought back alive. You found a target. Capture them quickly before they escape. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. cannot let our target know we're here. Track them down quickly. Target located. Bring them in. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done. You are surrounded by Premier Marines.
That's it. It will be a perfect specimen. Trap it so you can synthesize it for me. I have it. Thank you.
Back alive. You found a target. Capture them quickly before they escape. Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
It is done, Tenno.
Okay, guys, when it comes to these two snipers, I think I prefer the Komorex because I know I'm not always the most accurate player. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Best thing you can do for me at this point is just to have a beautiful day. Peace.